Good day, everybody, and welcome to Let's Talk, the Todd Worsham Show. So today's episode is kind of going to go off a little bit of stuff from last week's and going to kind of peel off it a little bit and then get into something new. Anyway, so I was on X. I've been on X for a little while, and I started noticing that a lot of people, well, also on Facebook too. So I'm not a real huge social media type person, but I do like to go on and just see what the gossip is and, see what's going on in people's minds and what the latest trends are and, garbage. I call it garbage gossip, but whatever, because I'm a conspiracy theorist. No, I'm just joking. But anyway, so get back on subject because I'm always off subject. I was, it just seemed to me like there was a lot of domestic, animals dying lately. Especially like on X and Facebook, I had seen a lot of people posting that their pets were passing away. And it kind of made me think about from last week's show from Robert, and we were talking about the chemtrails and Geo Engineering on the weather and all that kind of stuff, and the chemicals that they're putting in there. And it just started getting me all thinking, not that one had anything to do with the other. I mean, I had no idea, but it just made me think about, because when I did the research on the Geo Engineering, I found that per certain people's or certain websites that they're claiming that a lot of wildlife is getting mass extincted. So it made me think about, I wonder what's happening to domestic animals. And along with all the stuff that I saw on Facebook, that I've been seeing on Facebook and on X, maybe I'm just out there, but I kind of like tied them together. So I thought, you know what? Let's go on and do some research and see how many domestic animals have, when I say domestic, I mean dogs and cats. So let's just make sure we're sticking with that. And I'm not talking about pigs and cows and chickens and all the other stuff. I'm specifically talking about dogs and cats. So I went online, I figured I could go to like the Humane Society, I could go to all these other places and I could, maybe get some statistics on, see if there was anything happening. Well, it's kind of strange. I couldn't find anything. Now, I found a lot of stuff on animal abuse. There's all kinds of stuff on animal abuse, and there's all kinds of stuff on domesticated animals hurting or killing their owners or their people. You can find that stuff for days. But I was kind of shocked that I could not find any data on how many domestic animals, dogs and cats, are passing away. So I went onto another website. Actually, I think it was National Geographic, actually, which I don't know if I really trust them all the way, but for the sake of saying so, we will. So on their website, they're stating that there's a rise in domestic dogs and cats, domestic animal poisonings from pesticides. And I kind of thought that was kind of strange, because if you've been following the world news and following, news in the United States and following, what's going on, you'll know that farming is being reducted right now. A lot of farming is being taken away. And I won't go into that right now, but that's a fact. It is. It's happening. So I'm thinking, well, if there's less farming, that means there's less fertilizer, less pesticides, less, a lot of less stuff going on. At least I would think so. So why would the rise of death in cats and dogs be happening, saying more pesticides are out there, when we know for a fact that farming is going down? And I don't know where else you would get pesticides from. I don't know, maybe from, I don't know. I guess I haven't thought into it that deeply yet, but it just shocked me. It made me just think, why is all this happening and how is it all connected to something? So it made me kind of go back to last week's episode with Robert about how the nuclearization of the geo engineering of the weather is happening. And according to several people who've actually taken samples of the water and the soil and stuff like that, have found that there's all kinds of heavy metals and all kinds of chemicals and stuff that's a byproduct from the geoengineering. So I'm thinking, well, I know most people give their pets tap water. I personally don't do that. I have a little cat, and call me spoiler, but I don't even drink tap water myself. I don't cook with tap water. My coffee isn't with tap water. I do everything with reverse osmosis water. I filter everything, and my cat gets the same thing. But I'm just wondering if this is connected to that. And then while I was on the National Geographic website, they were talking about mass extinctions in the oceans and of several other animals around the planet. And again, that brought me back to the geoengineering, because the research I did on that, they're claiming that up to 70% of the plankton in certain parts of the ocean are gone. And if you understand where our oxygen comes from on this planet, it's not trees. I know everybody thinks it's trees, but it's not. It's the oceans. It's actually plankton. And that's what gives us a lot of our oxygen that we breathe. So this kind of like wowed me. It's like, wait a minute. So we're getting mass extinction on the animals that actually keep us alive and keep us breathing. And what I had found on my brief research, and I didn't really dig into this, like I didn't get a shovel, and dig down in the ground. So a lot of it's mainstream stuff, which I'll take 50-50. But if you match that up with the other stuff that from I think it's geoengineeringweather.org, if you match it up with some of the stuff that they're saying, it actually connects. You can actually connect the dots, because what these conspiracy theorists are telling us, you go to National Geographic website, and they're actually verifying this. I mean, they're saying the same things. I mean, the reasonings are different because National Geographic doesn't understand why, and they're saying poisons and pesticides. Okay, well, to me, that's a pretty big. It's a blanket. I mean, it can mean a lot of things. I mean, heavy metals are very poisonous. if we get too many heavy metals in it, it'll get us sick and it will kill us. So, and then not only that, according to the Geo Engineering Weather.org, because of the nuclearization of the seeding, the weather seeding that they're doing, it's actually causing the ground to be sterile. They've actually taken tests of this, and anyway, they've taken tests of all this. And they've proven it. It's not a conspiracy theory. It is a scientific, proven fact. They've done it. It's there. You can go on their website and look it all up. It's all there. So I don't know how it connects to dogs and cats, but I just thought it was extremely strange how all of a sudden it just seems like all these pets are dying. And what I thought was even stranger was, as much as Americans love their pets, there is no data. I'm not saying, well, let me rephrase that. I'm not saying that there's no data. There wasn't data that was easily findable to viewers, to, generic people, general people like me and you, to look up those statistics to see if there's any kind of trends in pets. I guess I should start calling pets instead of domestic animals. Anyway, yeah, there's no traceability. There's no nothing. I mean, I can go there all day long and tell you how many people abused animals over the last 10 years, and I can tell you how many people got injured by animals. But what I can't tell you is, are pet deaths on the rise? Are they plateaued? Are they, is it pretty steady from the year to year? Because I think it's a big key factor in all this. And I'm going to dig into this more because it's, I just find it in today's world, this AI world, in the world of, information highway and, everybody knows everything type environment that we have today, that no one has asked those questions. Or asked that question. I do find it strange. Not going like conspiracy, road or whatever. I'm not saying there's a conspiracy that they're hiding this. I'm just saying I just think it's strange that we're not collecting this data. And now I do realize that, like in the rural areas of the country, and I know when I grew up, if your pet died, you didn't have a funeral for it. You didn't, go to the vet. Most of the time you dug a hole in the backyard. In fact, I did that just not too long ago for a friend of mine. She couldn't do it herself, so I got a phone call and asking if I would bury their dog in the backyard, and I did. And I'm sure there was no record of it. I'm sure she didn't tell the vet. I'm sure of that. So it just may be that it's a statistic that's just too hard to put all the information together and actually have an accurate count. But what I'd like to see is I'd like to just see at least a reported statistic of deaths, because I think it says a lot about our society. It says a lot about what's going on, because as I said earlier, Americans love their pets. I mean, pretty much almost everybody I know has at least a dog or a cat. I mean, there's some people that don't, but on the most part, in fact, most people have both. Usually, if you have a dog, you usually have a cat or something, or a ferret or something. but I just don't understand why that statistic isn't being monitored, or why it's not even a statistic at all. So I don't know why, and it just raised some questions, and that's all I'm asking. I'm not going down any road, but it kind of made me think a little bit, because on the National Geographic website, and I really didn't go to the Humane Society. Well, I did. I went to the Humane Society, but their information just seemed, I don't know, it was kind of sketchy. I didn't know if I wanted to use it. The National Geographic looked a little more, in my mind, it looked a little more legit, and it was saying that the death in pets, household pets, has been on the rise for the last couple of years with poisons and pesticides. And I don't understand why that would be. It just, so that's what kind of connected it to me back to what people call the chemtrails. Here we go again, down the conspiracy road. So I don't know. I think it'd be really cool if you could all take some time out and go down that road, and you're more like you're more. I would love some responses. I mean, if someone can post something on my YouTube channel, or um, that would be great, because if you can pull me in a direction, where I can get some of that stuff, and get along, I'd be more than happy to put it on my program and spread that, because I don't want to be spreading bullshit. I mean, that's a fact. I don't want to spread lies. I mean, I try to do good research. I try to get stuff that's what I think is actually plausible and makes sense, and things that I know are not fake, or I know that they're not real. So, and I do my best. Doesn't mean I'm perfect every time, and doesn't mean that some of my information could be a little skewed. I don't know, but I think for the most part, it's pretty accurate. I want to believe that it is, and I would never misguide anybody, or I would never lie to you. So that's that. So, at any rate, so some food for thought. What's happening to our animals? I don't know. And on the same line of that, um, well, I went into the kind of the plankton thing, but also the insects. Um, we're losing insects by the billions. And I'm not really sure how familiar you are with the ecosystem of the planet, but insects are a major, huge part of our ecosystem. If we were to take insects out of the picture, the planet would literally start, just the whole ecosystem would start collapsing. So many things rely on insects, and insects give off certain things. They do certain things. They have symbiotic relationships with other things, like trees, and with other insects, and with animals, and insects are just a completely intricate part of our ecosystem. And without them, in my mind, I believe that the whole ecosystem would collapse without insects. It would just start collapsing one after another, and then because it would move from the insects to the birds to the animals, um, to plants, and then once birds go, then the plants go, and then we go. I mean, because if there's no plants, there's no food. That means you can't feed our animals that we eat. So it's all tied together. Our ecosystem is extremely fragile, and I think that we just need to be aware that things are happening, and and start asking questions. I mean, why are we losing, why are we having mass, I'm not gonna say mass extinction, but we're having mass deaths of animals and insects, and especially in the oceans. A lot of things in the oceans are disappearing. Whales, we're about ready to extinct a couple breeds of whales again. I believe this would be the second time around. Um, I do know for a fact that these windmills that they've been putting up on the East Coast, they've been using some kind of sonar or echo system to figure out where to put these windmills, and in doing that, it's breaking the eardrums of the whales, and without their sonar, their ecosystem, they die. And I don't know if you people know this, but they have been washing up on the East Coast for about a year, and I don't understand why Greenpeace or all these so-called people who are saving the planet and all this kind of stuff. I don't understand why they're quiet. I haven't heard a single person come on any type of social media, any type of news networks. Now I have seen some people on Newsmax. There was a girl, I don't remember her name, but she's been on there a few times complaining about the whales and trying to let people know that it's not a joke. It's happening, and we are in the process of extincting whales again. I mean, we about did it in the 1800s for, was it oil? Used their oil for lanterns, I believe 1800s. I think it was the humpback whale and sperm whale. We about extincted them. So, for some reason, we're doing it again. And I don't know if you heard about the bottleneck dolphin, but that one's being massed out too. And I don't understand why people aren't standing up and asking questions, and I don't understand why we're letting our governments do this stuff to our ecosystem. It's pretty simple. Without the ecosystem, we're all dead. I mean, you might as well just forget everything. Forget your job. Forget everything. There will be nothing. It's and I don't I don't want to sound like Mr. Doomsday here, but the ecosystem is very fragile, and we need to do what we can do to keep it going and keep it healthy. And putting chemicals in the sky and using all this stuff that we use in the oceans, and all the garbage that we dump in the oceans, and all the really bad things that we do are all taking a toll on Mother Nature. It's wow, it's like a really sad episode today. But I just want to bring it to your attention. So I know I probably said that 20 times. But yeah, I just want to bring it to your attention, and just think about it. And I don't know, do some research on your own and see what you can come up with, and I don't know, get involved if you can. I'm not sure what I'm going to do about it besides sit here and flap my jaw and just let you people know that there are things going on, and no, they're not conspiracies. I mean, you can all go on to, like I did, nationalgeographic.com, and you can go on to Humane Society. I think that's a .org. But and you can all go on to geoengineeringweather.org, and you can all look up the same things I did, and you can come to your own conclusions. But we do know for a fact that things are changing. And in my humble opinion, I honestly and truly believe, in my heart of all hearts, that everything that's happening right now is not natural. I think it's human induced. I believe that we're messing with things that we shouldn't be messing with. And I'm hoping that Mother Nature will fight back, and the planet will burp, and put it all back together. So, because if we don't get our shit together, we're going to ruin a lot of things. We're going to ruin humanity again. And I don't know about you all, but I'd like to stay around for a while. Not sure that'll happen. It depends on who you talk to, but some people say it's going to happen, in 10 or 15 years. But we've heard the global global warming people and the climate control people. We've been hearing them screaming since it's documented in the newspapers since the 1920s that people have been saying this, that we're going to die, and it hasn't happened yet. So I do believe Mother Nature is very versatile. I believe that she won't let us destroy her. I believe that she will fight back at a certain point. Now, what that means, I'm not really sure. It could be really detrimental to us, because the bottom line is she's still going to be here when we're gone. She's not going anywhere. We'll move on, and Mother Nature will still be here, and she'll still take care of the planet, and she'll do what she has to do to keep her planet alive. So think about that. That's some food for thought. So let's get our act together. Let's do what we can do to, help this planet be strong and healthy. And I wish I had more answers for you. I just don't. I just stumbled into this, and I just have a million more questions than answers. I really don't have any answers at this point at all. I have no idea. Again, like I said, I believe it goes back to the weather engineering. I believe, because we're putting heavy metals and chemicals in the sky, and we're generating what we think is weather. All that comes down to the earth, and it goes into the earth. And I believe it's killing her. I believe it's doing bad things to our planet. And now I don't personally have proof, but there's a lot of places you can go to that have done research, that have done scientific testing of the soil, of the waters, underground water, the ocean water, plant life. They've taken DNA tests from animals. There's groups of people out there that are actually doing this right now, and they're proving that there's something really going on. And I just don't see Mother Nature starting to produce a whole bunch of heavy metals and chemicals and then dumping them on us. I don't understand. That just doesn't seem natural to me. I don't see aluminoids and nucleoids and all these these metals, and I think it's magnesium and the list goes on. I mean, it's like hundreds of chemicals or heavy metals and chemicals combined that's being dumped from the atmosphere down into the planet, and it just doesn't seem natural to me. So, all right, everybody. Hope you guys enjoyed the show today. Hope it wasn't such a downer, but try to look up. We'll do what we can to take care of good old Mother Nature. She's our mother, and do your part. All right. Thank you. Have a good day.